just to tell you how proud I am to be a member of this family, not only for two parents who provided a safe and loving environment to grow up in, but two sisters who I am proud of for their character and accomplishments. What I remember growing up was a mother who had unconditional love. She spent hours at night when I was 7 and 8 making me learn multiplication charts by using flashcards over and over, giving me an advanced start in math. She was there every afternoon with a snack and asking how our day went. I always enjoyed the canned goods that she spent hours canning. She would always make me a blackberry cobbler if I would go back in the fields and pick the berries. And she was always there. She was encouraging, kind, and graceful. My dad, as we all know, is a man of strong character. He is determined to live his life's purpose. He is unyielding in his decisions, but not without consideration for the justice of all those involved. He spent time coaching Little League and would take me on infamous fishing trips. I won't go into all the details of these fishing trips, but I will say we braved Galveston Bay in a 16-foot aluminum boat that we got towed back a few times. There was one foggy Saturday, we ended up in the middle of the Houston Ship Channel and barely escaped a tanker ship. One night we planned to go camping and fishing at a lake, and when we woke up and found out it hadn't been completed or even filled with water yet. But we also were very successful many times hauling in all the speckled trout we could carry out. My dad lived the example of a life with faith, hard work, and was thankful for what God had given him. And finally, I'd like to end with a little short story. One time after I was grown, I went back to visit Mom and Dad at our house in Knob Hill. They asked me to go on a walk with them around the junior college we lived near. It was about 1.5 miles from our house and around the college. We walked the parking lot surrounding the campus, and I noticed them combing the lot for something. And I asked them, what are y'all looking for? And they said, we find a coin every now and then here out in this parking lot that they dropped. And we just enjoy seeing how much we can find. Well, sure enough, we did find a couple of coins, and when we got home, they showed me the jar they deposited the coins in, and the jar was almost full of coins, probably totaling a couple $100. As I think about that here today, isn't that how they have lived their life? Quietly walking hand in hand through life, occasionally finding a small treasure here and there, until 65 plus years later, you look around this room and you see your jar really is full. I think Mom, she's been practicing this. Y'all please give her attention. She's the most loved woman I bet in this room, so please give her your attention, and she has a couple things she'd like to say.
Well, I think everything has been said that's going to be wants to be said. Because I think that everybody knows everybody. But I want to be sure that you know my sister, Annabelle, isn't that a nice name? When we were growing up, when I was very small, when we were growing up, and even during high school, she was always there and always made sure that I had what I was supposed to have. But she's very, very good. And I'm so glad she got it. It's been 40 years, 7 years since I first saw her last. So after 7 years, I'm really happy to see her. I can't help but believe that tonight that God had a part in this, because it just worked out. And it started as nothing really big. And so I want to thank God that He has given me 65 plus years to live, and especially when I can have this wonderful husband that I've had all this time. And then next, not only did God give me a husband, but He gave me 3 kids, 3 beautiful kids. Cindy, over here,
I'm right here.
and Pam.
Just wait out.
And they have really worked hard, I'll tell you, they really have worked. But they're all just about to retirement age now. And
I'm willing.
and I want to tell them how very proud we are of them, because they have worked so hard and everything. And then next was my grandchildren. They gave me 8 grandchildren, and you all know who that is, and I won't point them out to you. But there's been, just this last 6 months, there's been a lot of things that has happened. First, there was Jordan that finished school. I don't know where he is. What is he?
Over here.
And then there was Jeremy and Morgan. The weddings that we had, Morgan and this is the first time I have met her, and I'm so glad to meet her. And then there was Austin and Pat.
Cat.
Sorry. And they probably have some pictures out here, wedding pictures that they want us to see, and I want to see them. And not only my grandchildren, but last but not least, my 3 grandchildren, great-grandchildren, Chris and Aria, and William, yes. And so, and they're just wonderful. But just in case I missed something, I want to say that I love all of you, and I want you to know it.
All right, I think I'm going to turn over to Cindy now, who's probably...
And this is why I want to go first.
It's all in yours.
Well, I'm just going to give a kind of a little brief thing that I can't remember details very well. So, Dad kind of filled me in a little bit, but just how they met was my dad went to high school actually in Freeport, and Mom was in Palestine, and then Dad went away to the service, and in his senior year of high school, his family moved to Palestine. So when he came home on furlough, his brother Thurman was still at home, and Dad said, I need a girl to go out with while I'm home. And he found me a date, and so Thurman said, well, let me look around and ask around. So he did, and he found out about this girl named Erma, and Dad said, well, before I agree to go out with her, I want to kind of check her out. So they found out that she worked at Walmart. No, she worked at a shoe store. And so she happened to be dressing the window, and Dad was going by, and he said, yeah, I think I want to go out with her. So Thurman and his girlfriend double dated with Mom, or got them together, and then Dad took, if I get this wrong, you can correct me. So Dad took her out for a date. I think it was their first date, and they went about 25 miles or so to the movies, okay? And Dad had borrowed his dad's 34 Plymouth to go. Well, they go to the movie, and they're on their way home, and they have car trouble.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, we know that.
They say that Dad says that they got home, like about 2 in the morning, 1 or 2 in the morning, and he just knew that Papa Thomas wasn't gonna let him date that girl again, but they did. And they were married, on December the 12th, I believe, is their, wedding day, and Mom has seen some pictures over there. And then they, shortly after that, Dad found out that he could get a job at Humboldt, Illinois, is that what you told me? And so they thought their future would be better to move to Houston. So with $10 in their pocket, they moved to Houston. And God worked there a while, and then they bought their first house on Shelburne, isn't it Shelburne? Chenault. Anyway, and that's where
My grandfather.
that's where their favorite child was born. So anyway, they lived there a while, and then we moved to Coleman Street, and then we moved to Nob Hill, and that's kind of the highlight of the net and all of that. So, and is there anything you want to add to that I left out?
It's good enough.
So, that's just kind of how we got to here, but.
I want to know how you got home after the car broke down.
Well, it didn't really break down.
That's black sheep down here, though.
We had to stop our language.
I think I was with the devil. But what happened was, you have to remember, we lived back in the day of bathing wire. Okay. My dad repaired things with bathing wire. So when we got started out, we kept hearing this clap, 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 clap. And I didn't know what was. I never could determine what's causing the problem. So I did discover that if I just drove real slow, about 5 or 6 miles an hour, it doesn't do that very well. So 25 miles, about 5 or 6 miles an hour. Come find out, I told Dad he's got some other problem. He looked over at it and just laughed. He said, you know what happened? Back in those days, the universal joint was left uncovered. And the universal joint, you know, getting all that to it. Dad had covered that universal joint with a piece of inner tube and wrapped it around and tied it together on the ends with baling wire. Well, that baling wire broke, and one end of that people kept flopping every time it turned over. So what we just had a slow, loving ride home.
Well, it turned out all right.
All right, so. I'm not as good at remembering things, so I don't know offhand. And that's just some of the dim lights didn't quite work right for me remembering details. So decided that I would make an acrostic with the word parents and what I thought. So bear with me.
You did fine.
P stands for perseverance, and that you have taught me. Over the years, you taught me that roadblocks will always be there, but none of them stop you. Elmer, to problem solve, and to keep on going. And that is one thing that I've learned from you. A is for normal. I think that the two of you today are just so adorable. You hold hands, you take care of each other, you support each other, and I really, truly was trying to remember, never in my life have I heard either one of you raise your voice to the other. And so you have really been an example for us, and we appreciate that. And I love you for it. Then we have the word, the letter E. And that's, for example, as I've just said, you have been an example for us. A good marriage, parenting, work ethic, all kinds of things that I can't remember because I'm crying. And of course, you know, we're not all perfect, but that is, oh, I left out, I went to E before I went to R. I go back. R for religion. That is something that I really, really appreciate, that the two of you raised us in a godly home. You took us to church, that you walk the talk, not just talk it, but you've always walked it. Even today, I know that the two of you read your Bible together every morning, you pray together every morning, and that you put God first. And I remember one time when I was talking to Mom, and I was complaining because I'd been volunteering in the clothing thing, and these people just keep coming back and coming back. And Mom says, you know what, Cindy? That's not your problem. God will take care of things, and He knows it. You just do, you just obey. And so that is something you have taught us, to put the Lord first, and that He will take care of everything. Okay, now we're in E, so I'll go on to N. New. I thought of N as new because my dad, I don't care how old he gets, he's always willing to try something new. And he's always taking a risk and doing new things. You know, he doesn't want to be behind anybody else. He's just willing to do that. And I think that that's one thing that, even in my job, they tell me that I'm the risk taker and I'll try the new thing, and I think I got that from you. So I appreciate that. And then T for tiredness. You have more energy than I do. Even though you're 25 years older or more than me, you have never given up. You continue to help others. You serve your church. You serve your family. You serve your friends. And always with a willing spirit. And last but not least, S for supporting. Throughout my whole life, my parents have supported me and my dreams. Even when they thought I might not can do something, they never told me I couldn't. They supported me. I specifically remember when I was trying out for the Deer Escorts, the drill team. I know they thought that I could never do it. I wasn't so uncoordinated. But they never said that to me. It took me 3 years to get in, just about 3 tryouts. And they gave me the chance to have my friends come over and do the dances with me and do all of that. When I went into teaching, they supported me. When I went to college, even though we got married here in college, they said, you know what, you go, you get that education. I was going to support you and give you that education whether you were married or not married. So, go get your degree and get finished. They have supported my children and my now coming up grandchild, and just have always given compliments to them. They never discouraged me, even when I have taken the wrong path, and they have always told me in a nice way by asking questions and making me think about things. So, Dad, Mom, thank you. I really love you.
You want to call Pam?
Okay. Thank you for letting me follow all that. And I'm glad I wrote mine out. I remember once in college, I was asked what I would want for my future children. And I said that I would want for them what I had, a happy childhood. And when I think of that time in my life, pictures come to my mind. Pictures come of sneaking into Mom and Dad's bedroom with my siblings on a Saturday morning and jumping right into their bed with an early wake-up call. Chinaberry fights in the tree in the backyard. Playing in the sprinkler. staying out till after dark on Fridays, playing hide and go seek with all the neighborhood kids, flying kites in the park down the street, towel fights in the bedroom with Cindy. She has a good whip, let me tell you. And wrestling matches on David's double bed, complete with verbally sounding the bell from the corners before pouncing in the middle. We're gonna do that. Making pillow forts. Long days of summer playing outside with baby dolls and dishes on my movable blanket house. Running into the garage with one sibling pressing our backs against the garage door while the other sibling was getting punished inside because we got them in trouble. Making mud pies by the swing and blackberry picking at Mima and Papa's in Palestine. In between singing, I dropped my dolly in the dirt with my cousins. And laughing at Uncle Will, wiggling his ears. While waiting for the homemade ice cream to freeze enough to eat. Catching and keeping horny toads in a shoebox at Mima and Papa Smith's. Laughing around the supper table, day after day after day. And listening to deep and important discussions there as well. I also remember the excitement of getting new school dresses for the year, crispy full petticoats, new hats, white gloves, and new patent leather shoes each Easter. New Christmas gifts appearing under the tree each day, building up to Christmas break. The gleam of a new banana seat bicycle. Piling into the back of the station wagon with pillows, popcorn, and pajamas to go see the double feature at the drive-in movie theater as a family. Diamond's annual company picnics.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
Learning to water ski. And vacationing for a week in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So many others could be named. But the point is that we had a happy childhood because we had devoted, loving parents who worked hard to make it so. They gave us a legacy that has enriched their grandchildren's lives and now their great-grandchildren. They loved God first, each other second, and us third. And that order of priority gave us the most blessed life any child could have. I can't thank you enough, Mom and Dad. I thank you for all the precious memories, and I thank you for loving each other and us enough to say yes, no, and wait. I can still remember the time. I don't know if I want to bring this. I remember the time as an arrogant sophomore college freshman that thought she knew how to save the world, that I came to Mom and Dad and suggested that they take in a boarder, a girl I knew from Sanjack who needed a place to stay. After thinking it over, they declined, because it was a time in their married lives when, as new empty nesters, they understood the wisdom of spending more time with each other and solidifying all that life with kids that can take away in marriage. I, of course, knew better, and I foolishly accused them of selfishness and bigotry. Sure, that the reason they didn't help my friend was because she was black. And I pretty much accused them of being non-Christian. Well, I deserved nothing less than a good slap in the face, which I'm sure I would have done to my kids if they pulled something like that stupid on me. Instead, I received the mercy, grace, love, and forgiveness of someone who understood the Christ-like character more than I ever did, and a wise answer that someday I would understand. Oh, how I do. And how grateful I am that they were wise enough to ignore my immature and false allegations and listen to the father of marriage so that we could be celebrating this moment today. So Mom and Dad, for your example, for your faithfulness, for your love, and witness of Christ's love, I thank you, I honor you, and I celebrate you. And part of how we are doing that is your three kids is next Sunday, as you are continuing in the practice of doing. When you go to your church, there at the front on the altar will be a big bouquet of flowers in honor of your 65th anniversary from Cindy, David, and myself. And I think it will be noted so in the bulletin, and those flowers would be yours to take home after that. So, happy 65th anniversary from us. So in honoring you, we must turn our hearts towards the one that guided and sustained you. So would everyone please bow your heads in prayer as we give our thanks and praise to God. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. We honor you and we kneel before you in gratefulness to the parents that you gave us. Your guiding hand led them to follow you and to let you lead their home. And for this, we give you thanks. Your wisdom led them to lead us in reverence to you and to teach us of you from an early age, so that we too may be led in wisdom toward the right mate and faithful marriages, which you created and ordained for us. Your character of love, sacrifice, giving, and holiness was shown to us first in them, and we praise you. We pray for your continued guidance in each of their family members, that we may all bring you the glory and honor that you deserve, Lord. Forgive us our sins and shortcomings as we forgive those who sin against us, and are so grateful for the forgiveness already shown to us. May your kingdom come in us as it is in heaven, and may you receive all glory forever and ever and ever. Amen. And thank you for the food.